for tuning in to You Can and You Will Talk Show. Today we have a special guest by the name of Matthew. Matthew has a story that you guys will be just... So I want him to tell you guys some of the things that he went through and he overcame. Matthew, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matthew Taylor.
Okay, so Matthew, I know that you mentioned that you grew up in a house of 9 children. Tell our audience, like, what is that about, like growing up in a house of 9?
Man, it's crazy. I mean, you got 6 sisters and 3 brothers. I mean, you kind of like, hey, everything's just wild. It's, y'all fight, y'all argue, but in the end of it, y'all learn to love each other unconditionally. So, you know, I mean, that's what family's all about.
Okay. So it was pretty cool. I mean, how was it? Like, was y'all wealthy? What kind of background was it?
No, we struggle. We struggle. Okay. But you know, sometimes struggling is good. It molds and shapes you for the twists and turns of life.
Okay. So I remember you also mentioning that, like, at an early age you started selling drugs. Tell me, what was your purpose of selling drugs? Like, I know there's a lot of young men out here that have reasons they sell drugs. Some sell drugs because they need to make the money. Some just do it just to make the money. Like, what was your reason of selling drugs at an early age? And how old was you when you started?
I was like 14, 13 years old. I started selling weed. I graduated to selling coke, to other things.
Okay.
I mean, when you got 9 siblings, y'all in the house and your mother and father working, trying to make ends meet just to pay the bills, you ain't got what other kids got. You know, it get kind of hard out there in the streets. People kind of like treat you indifferent. They talk about you, your shoes from there, you know. So it kind of like pushed me to wanting to have more.
Okay.
I wanted something that my parents couldn't give me. They gave me shoes, but I wanted some Nikes. So, you know, I ain't want no MA100s.
Yeah. I had Punky Brewsters. I had some, not the Adidas with the 3 stripes. I had the 4 stripes on my Adidas. So.
Hey, them MA100s I'm talking about. It is what it is. So,
I remember you saying you was one of the biggest drug dealers back in the 90s from up the way. What made you, because you mentioned you ended up getting hooked on, you know, your own product. What made you try your own product, being that you was the man back in the 90s? What made you, and how was that?
Well, to be honest with you, I kind of felt...
If you don't mind looking into the audience.
I kind of felt like I left off into... I went to prison, and a lot of people I trusted, loved, cared for, was there for, you know, when I needed somebody, there wasn't nobody there. So it kind of like, and my younger siblings, they was too young to help me, so I couldn't look for them. So it was like the ones that was able to help, they never did. So it kind of like pushed me into a seclusion. Okay. And I started feeling sorry for myself. I started feeling like nobody cared. And I just looked at life like, man, I ain't want to live for real. It got to a point where I was too strong to just right out kill myself. So I tried to just, I'm gonna just take my life by just being nothing.
Yeah.
I ain't want to be nothing no more. I ain't want to do nothing. I ain't want to have nothing. I just gave up on life.
Okay. You mentioned you being incarcerated several times. How many times was you incarcerated, and what was the worst time that you ever was incarcerated?
I've been incarcerated 5 times. I got 5 numbers. And the worst prison time I ever did was down south. You know, some things happened to me because I was an outcast. I didn't know nobody, so, you know, I kind of like went through a hard bit down there. But through the grace of God, you know, he helped me survive. You know, I went through a lot of things down there. You know, I got stabbed. I stabbed somebody, you know. It kind of like made me like look at my life like, man, what's really going on? What are you doing? And you know, I came home from that. I got back on drugs, but then I went back to jail when I got up here. And while I was in there, you know, I started reading the Bible with a guy that was really into God, and he started breaking it down to me. Because I read the Bible a lot, you know, I knew the Bible. but I never understood it. So, you know, when it made me feel better, I always try to do better. But when I was able to understand it, it made me a whole different person. It just made me realize that life is more than having flashy things. Life is more than just people being there for you. You gotta learn to be there for yourself. You gotta learn to be there for others. You don't have to always have somebody there for you. You do for others, and sooner or later, God will see that you're doing it wholeheartedly, and He'll just, you know, He'll mold and shape your life the way you needed it to be.
Okay.
Not what you wanted to be, what you needed to be. So don't think you're gonna come out of here and just have everything on. You're gonna come out of here and be all right, but you ain't gonna come out here filthy rich. You ain't gonna come out here and get the baddest girl. You're gonna come out here and life just gonna be what you needed to be.
Right. Okay. So being that you went through all this, you went through, you know, selling drugs at a young age. You went to being incarcerated, catching 5 numbers, and then you know, you ended up turning to drugs and things like that. Like everything you went through, what was your turnaround? What made you say, okay, this was it. That's it. I'm done. What was your breaking point?
I had turned my family against me, and that was like rightfully the only thing I had left after I became a drug addict. The women didn't want me no more. My kids didn't want me. You know, my children, they didn't want nothing to do with me. My friends, they looked at me crazy. And I had just rightfully hit rock bottom to the point like, I'm like, man, what is you doing? You better than this. You don't need nobody to be there for you. You gotta first learn to be there for yourself. And then finding that, I kind of like really dug into that Bible real deep, and I found God. I really this time found God. And I learned to love myself. And in loving myself, I learned to love God first. Because without Him ain't nothing possible. With Him, everything possible. You know, in the Bible it says, man, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, anything is possible. It also says, you know, that he who put God first, everything else should be added unto him. You know, so I started, you know, really started putting God first. And even though I was still in jail when I started doing it, people just started coming out of nowhere, getting in contact with me. It was like God was doing it. People start, hey, I love you. You know, I was hearing from people on JPay, people calling to the prison like, man, tell him to call me. He don't want to call nobody. Because I had went into a real seclusion until I started talking to God. And then my uncle got in touch with me. He wanted to help me. So I'm like, man, like they said, man, you put God first, man, He gonna add everything that you need. And everything just came into fruition for me. And I got out here and I just keep God first.
How long have you been clean?
Oh, man. Probably like 5-6 years.
Okay. God is good. God is good. Oh, man. What would you tell the youth of today that struggle with some of the things that you struggled with in the past? Like some of the things that you went through. You know, there's a lot of youth out here that sell drugs and then they end up start taking, you know, pills, ecstasy pills and things like that. You know, that's trying to make a quick dollar. Like, what would you tell the young men of today?
To be honest with you, the only thing I can tell you is, if you're tired of the life you living, man, find you a better way. If you want something different, you got to do something different. If you do what you always done, you're going to get what you always got. So if you don't want to go to jail, you don't want nobody trying to kill you in the streets for what little bit you get your hands on, man. I mean, you don't have to have it all today. It'll come to you. All you have to do is try to work for it and put God first. It'll come to you. Trust me, it took me time. And I've been home a year now. And
you was a drug addict for how many years?
Oh, man. Roughly 12, 13 years. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it wasn't a straight because I was a drug addict. Then I go to jail for 4 years. I go to jail for 5 years, 7 years, you know. So it wasn't like I was just out there drug addict. You know, I was getting breaks, so I never really got a chance to just run away with it. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people, they look at drugs like it's a safe haven, like it's a way out of pain and misery. But when you come down off that high, your pain and misery still waiting on you. You know, the devil is a whisperer. He don't cause you to do things. He just put it in your head. He put the negativity in your head for you to do it to yourself. He's not doing nothing. He's doing his job by putting a negative mind state in your head to make you feel like people don't care. When people do care, somebody somewhere always cares. You just have to find them. Actually, you have to find you first, and they'll find you, and they'll find you.
Tell us.
What I would tell you though, don't never give up on you. Don't never give up on life. And never give up on the people you don't think love you, because you never know. All you have to do is show them that you love you. They can't love you if you don't love yourself.
Oh, hey. So, with that being said, tell us about the man that you are today. You kind of like just told me a little bit. But tell us the man that you are today and what you got going on. You know, you went from selling drugs to becoming the user, to being incarcerated, going to jail for attempted murder. Was it stabbing somebody?
Two counts of attempted murder.
2 counts of attempted murder. And just you know, you was out here, you know, robbing, breaking in homes, breaking in stores, robbing people. You know, you and now that you became this man, who is the man you are today? Like, tell them the man that you are today. What you got going on? Do you work? Where you at today?
Be honest with you, sometimes I think about what I did in life and I cry and I ask God to forgive me, because some of the people that I did things to, they not here. But I hope the people that is here, if you see this, man, wholeheartedly, man, I'd like you to, you know, forgive me. If not, man, just as long as God forgive me, man, I know I'm gonna be all right. And the man I am today, man, faithful, honest, trustworthy, loving, kind, considerate, thoughtful of others, and I don't want nobody to ever be hurt. If I can give you a shot, man, I'll give you a shot. If I can give you a chance to help you, I'm gonna help you. You might not believe it, but if you ever run into me and I got $1, we can split it, 50 cents, 50 apiece. You know, that's real talk. The man I am today, I work hard for a living. I don't do the things I used to do. And I actually found somebody that cared enough of me to try to help me strive in life out here. I got family that finally, you know, they realized, you know, I changed, and they showing they love, the love that they always had, that I thought wasn't there. But, you know, it was hard to love me the way I was, because I was
You're a contractor, you travel, right?
Yeah, I travel. My job is I do industrial cleaning, you know. I make different wages, so it ain't like you know, I have the best job in the world, but I don't have you know, the worst job in the world, and I'll take this job over, you know, out there in the street any day, because in them streets, man, you look for death, for jail, and right now, I don't want to die. I got somebody I love, and I really, you know, I want to build a life with them, and I got family that I really love being around now, so I don't want to go back to what I was, so I wake up every morning and just thank God for keeping my mind on the right track. I don't claim to be the perfect man, but I ain't nowhere near the man I was. And I give all praise to God for that.
I remember you mentioning, you know, what are your relationship like with your children now? You know, you being in and out of prison and, you know, in a world doing different things. I take it as, you know, your relationship probably wasn't as good then. Like, what are your relationship like with your children now, today?
Some of my children I haven't seen since they was 1, and they kind of like resent me. Mm-hmm. They really don't know me. You know, they only heard stories. You know, people told them what type of things I was out here doing. They told them about when I was a big time drug dealer. But majority of my children, they'll you know, conversate with me on Facebook. They trying to figure me out, because I only been out a year. They waiting on me to mess up, go back to jail. They figure like, he gonna stay out long enough just to mess up again, because that's what I was doing, you know. But I haven't been on the ground a year since 1989 for real. I've been in and out of prison, you know, 5 times, and I did stretches. And I haven't been on the ground, being honest with you, a year since 1989, so this time I've been out for a year and some months now, so I hope they come around. The ones that I do talk to, they love me, and everything I can do for them, I do it.
So, being that your children's not in your life, some of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, the ones that resent you, can you do me a favor and look in the camera and tell them, what would you tell them today that you didn't get the chance to tell them yesterday?
Man, I don't never want you to think your father didn't love you. I was sick, I was lost, I was confused, and there were some things I was going through that I didn't understand. you know, God had to allow me to go through what I went through so he could bring me out right. There's some things that if I hadn't went through, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I'd probably be still out there trying to sell some dope or trying to use some dope. If I hadn't went through the things I went through, I wouldn't be the man I am now. So with all my heart, man, I hope y'all can forgive me and realize Dad love y'all. And any chance you get, man, you contact me. If I got it, you're welcome to it. Because my whole life is built around y'all. Now, I mean, before I was selfish, self-centered, and I hope y'all don't hate me or resent me. I mean, I understand y'all know I wasn't there, and you know, when I was there, but when I got sick, you know, when I got on drugs, I couldn't be there for me, so I'm gonna be there for y'all, and I didn't want y'all to see me like that. So if y'all could ever find it in your heart to forgive me, man, just know that Daddy love y'all, and I'm gonna always be there, and I'm gonna always be your father, so don't resent me forever. Just take your time and find out where I'm at now, and know that God is first.
All right. Wow. You have a powerful story. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Is there anything that you want to say besides that? Do you want anybody to find your social media or anything like that?
I mean, you can find me at DOCLLC 146 at gmail.com. Mm-hmm. My name is Matthew Robert Taylor Jr. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm Matthew Taylor 8846 on Instagram. You can look me up. If you're one of my children and you actually want to talk to me, I'm there. I would put my number out there, but the wrong person might get it and call me, and then I got to argue with my future wife. So I can't do that much. But you can find me on Facebook, man, and I'll be glad to hear from y'all. And I hope you really do consider trying to get in touch with me. And I love y'all. Take care. Have a blessed day.
Wow, this was a prime example of when God show up and showing out, like being able to use this man. Like, my message to you guys, no matter what storm you're going through, no matter what struggle you're going through, whatever you went through in life, Matthew, like, look how God turned his life around. Look how he helped him overcome everything that he was going through when he even got to a point where he couldn't, move forward. So I just want to let you guys know that as long as you got God in your life, and to keep pushing, to keep praying, to fall in love with yourself again, to fall in love with God first, and just keep him as the head, like, nothing's impossible. God is so good. God loves you all. Y'all download Daily Elevations. Tune in every Sunday at 5:30, and stay tuned and watch our show. I love you all. God bless, and see you soon.
Have a good one. Hello, how y'all doing? My name is Matthew Taylor, and I'd like to take y'all on a little exploration for about a minute or two. And I'd like y'all to understand that, man, the power of prayer is serious. It's real. The power of God is real. The power of the devil is real too. So y'all got to decide what things in life y'all want to do, because the power of the devil had overcame me to the point of death. I'm talking about, man, I've been left in the street for dead. I've been left up under cars for dead. I've been stabbed. Man, I've been through so much, man, but through the grace of God and the love of God, man, when I finally found him, he found me at the same time. And it didn't take him long to reveal himself to me. So if y'all out there, man, and you hurting, man, all you gotta do is just give your life to God, man. Just try to learn to be a positive force in the world, man, because there's so much murder and negative things going on in the world that if we don't, man, we don't have to worry about the devil coming in the end times destroying the world. We're going to destroy it for him. It's not a game anymore. Too many people losing their lives over petty things. Let's get this together, man. God blessed us with it. Let us keep it, and let some other people keep theirs. Let's do something positive with this life, man. Find God. Because if we leave the devil in the world, he's going to destroy it. Believe that. Y'all have a blessed day, and know that it's been good, man, talking to y'all.
Gave me my first son, my first love, my witness to everything. Came home and I was drinking like that. I moved them streets like that. Pimped out and raped. I even caught my first case. Sat in jail for 5 days. I prayed to change my ways. Went to school with a learning disability. Kicked out, work hard, got good grades. The Lord bless